Hello. I would like to talk about how I would teach basic fundamental skills to a whole wind band. Those basic fundamental skills consist primarily of how to breathe properly and how to get an appropriate airspeed for your instrument. That is shared across any wind instrument in the band. Excuse me. Uh, Breathing is important, and breathing in a wind band is different than breathing just regularly because you want to make sure you get deep breaths and fill up your entire lungs, and that you're able to control the way that the diaphragm pushes that air out. And trying to explain it to a kid in those technical terms works for some kids, but not for most. We always want to make sure we're breathing from our stomachs. And if the shoulders are moving, that is not okay. If the chest is inflating, that's not okay either. The stomach needs to get bigger. So one thing I have my students do is I tell them to be aware. If their shoulders and chest are moving, that's not okay. But if they're getting fatter, then that works. But one thing I have them do is I would have them lay down on their backs with their hands on their stomachs. And because they're on their backs, the way that they breathe naturally gets their stomach to expand the way that they need to. And so getting them to feel that, getting that tactile sensation, helps them understand what their stomach needs to be doing, or what their stomach needs to feel like when they're breathing. Obviously, the diaphragm is what's moving, not necessarily their stomach. Then I'll have them stand up and put their hands on their stomach just like they were when they were laying down, except now we're vertical, and to try to recreate that feeling by breathing in deeply. A couple different ways that I would have them think about it is one way that worked for me growing up was saying "how" as you breathe in like this. That helped me get a good breath. I know for other students, imagining that you have a straw in your stomach and you're blowing in through that straw, and so filling the stomach up only helps. I would throw out those analogies to help them and then recreate that sensation. That's how you breathe. We would then do breathing exercises where you breathe in for 4, breathe out for 8, breathe in for 4, breathe out for 12, breathe in for 4, breathe out for 16, then change it to breathing in for 2, breathing out for 8, 12, 16, and then breathing in for 1, breathing out for 8, 12, 16. And this helps get them used to breathing in very deeply in a short amount of time, but also being able to take the air that they gathered and rationing it out over an extended period of time. To address the airspeed problem, when I was growing up, I had a hard time understanding what good airspeed was. I was lucky enough to have a good sound and very good teachers, but I never really cognitively understood it until I was in college. And I found out that when explaining to younger students, I've taught as young as 4th grade and as old as high school. When teaching those students and they have poor airspeed, having them take their hand and put it this far from their face and then blow the fastest air that they can into the middle of their palm really helps. It's important to say that it needs to go directly into the middle of their palm because this focuses the air. You don't want the air just going everywhere. You want it focused right in the middle. So something like this. This is a lot of things for wind players. For a lot of the upper instruments or woodwind instruments, for example, saxophone, clarinet, flute, oboe, bassoon, so all the woodwinds, trumpet, French horn especially, but even trombone, baritone, and tuba to an extent. This helps with embouchure as well, because if you notice when they go, the corners of their mouth come in and make an O shape in the mouth, and that is an important aspect of every instrument, every wind instrument that I've played, because it's important not to let air escape out of the sides of their mouth. This helps with airspeed. It helps get them to feel how the diaphragm pushes the air out, and then you start to make the connections between how you breathe in and how you breathe out. So you have them breathe in the same way, breathing in for 4 counts, 2 counts, 1 count, and then breathing out in that manner, blowing into their palm for 8 counts, 12 counts, 16 counts if possible. I have seen this change a student's tone very, very quickly, and I would use it in a band program to achieve similar results. Thank you for watching.